We have a voicemail number. That number is 2192 David P. Here is a voicemail about mail-in voting, a very important topic this election cycle. Take a listen.
Hey, we need to push the mail-in vote, regardless of what he says. In numbers, we need to push the mail vote.
Absolutely agree. Listen, 2020 could come down to mail-in voting. We just don't know what the state of the pandemic is going to be in November. If the numbers continue to decline between now and then, we could have a safe-ish situation to go out and vote in person in November. But there are still going to be people that will be scared, and rightfully so, because we are not going to eradicate this in any significant way, maybe ever. I mean, it might become just a seasonal thing where you have to manage it with a seasonal coronavirus vaccine. We just don't know, but it will still be here in some capacity in November. If we are in the middle of a second wave in November, then waiting on setting up vote by mail is going to be too late. There will be states who won't be able to do it. It'll be a disaster. So the caller could not be more right. We need to be pushing for vote by mail now. And fortunately, some states are doing it. Now, even places like Texas, at least for now, are allowing anybody who wants an absentee ballot to get an absentee ballot. And it's valid to say, the reason I want one is I'm afraid of getting coronavirus. That is valid even in Texas right now. But depending on the numbers by November, it may no longer apply to the November presidential election. Understand that Trump has no federal authority to ban vote by mail. Trump also has no federal authority to designate churches essential organizations or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't mean Trump isn't going to run propaganda on this. He's already been pushing vote by mail leads to voter fraud. It's not true. The data don't suggest it, don't demonstrate it in any way whatsoever. But we are starting to see local Republican officials take a cue from Trump and start to say it causes fraud, it opens the door to fraud, blah, 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 blah. Let's not allow them to do that. Let's lobby all of our states to say, at minimum, we're not saying right now, cancel in-person voting. We don't need to do that. All we need is a rule that says, if you want to vote by mail, you can, and you will not have to justify it because you're out of state. You can just request an absentee ballot, period. Better is we will send everyone an application for an absentee ballot, which they have to return to get an absentee ballot. Even better is we will send everyone an actual absentee ballot. Now, different states have different rules about what's allowed in terms of automatically sending people absentee ballots versus, well, you can't do that. You've got to send them an application. Every state is different. It's a patchwork of 50 different elections. Let's go for the gold, which is send everybody an absentee ballot and let them vote by mail. If not, send everybody an absentee ballot application. If not, let everybody request an absentee ballot for any reason, even if it doesn't meet the previously established requirements for why one would get an absentee ballot. We can do this. And one last thing on this. I'm spending more time on this than I planned to, but this is important. It only really matters in a few states, right? I mean, listen, California, whether they vote by mail or not, Biden's going to win California. Massachusetts, Biden's going to win Massachusetts. Utah, Trump's going to win Utah, I think, although I actually saw one poll which says it's not as out of reach for Biden as you might imagine, but Trump's likely going to win Utah. We need to focus our efforts in particular states. Republicans know this, right? We're talking about Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. I'm not getting all of them. That's where we need to focus our efforts. We've got a fantastic bonus show for you today. I will recap my appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience last week. I have a new rabbit problem. You are not going to believe what I have dealt with over the last 48 hours. Some of you will, some of you won't. And also, we will talk about a rat problem. Rats are finding less trash to eat because a lot of commercial spaces that generate huge amounts of trash are essentially closed, not generating trash. Rats are becoming cannibalistic because of the trash shortage due to coronavirus. All of those stories and more on today's bonus show. Don't miss it. Sign up at joinpakman.com, and I will see you then.